right, well, we'll go ahead and begin. I'd like to welcome everybody to the 2024 Oneonta High School Alumni Association Induction Ceremony. My name is Andrew Capper. I'm the president of the Alumni Association. All right, well, the applause is for me. Thank you very much, but you know, it's all the committees that we have and our committee chair and the members that make sure everything that happens. So they're the ones that deserve the applause. First, I'd like to let everybody know that today's ceremony, for the first time, is being taped. And it will be available, we're hoping on Monday, on the school district website. We'll have some information on our Facebook page to let people know about it, and maybe some instructions on how you'll be able to view it. This is our first time recording it, and we're learning as we go, so bear with us. It's not being broadcast live, it's being recorded, and then it should be available on Monday for viewing. So we're every year something is added, and everything gets better, as you'll see. This year we celebrate our 25th anniversary as our modern alumni association. There had been previous alumni associations, but they stopped and started in 1999. William Bud Perone, Jeff Smith, Tony Drago, Frank Gallucci, and Madeline Palmer met, and they had a dream to create our current alumni association. Over the past 25 years, our association has grown and developed into really a fantastic organization that promotes the interest and pride and awareness of Oneonta High School. Its alumni, its faculty, its staff, current students, and our friends. Our events during Alumni Weekend, our Friday golf tournament, the gathering we have Friday evening at the Boys and Girls Club, today's induction ceremony and luncheon are really just a part of what we do. Of our pursuance of our mission. Yesterday and today's events are visible and they're a lot of fun, but our association does much more behind the scenes. From encouraging and supporting local activities, recognizing Oneonta High School students' academic achievements through scholarships, recognizing faculty, maintaining communications and contact between OHS and its alumni, to facilitate the growth of our organization and maintain our school history. Today we're here to recognize the achievements, and our seats will be full with our inductees, recognize their achievements of our alumni and our friends who have distinguished themselves in their careers after OHS, our Wall of Distinction, and our alumni athletes who distinguished themselves while they were here at OHS, our Athletic Hall of Fame. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Kathy Lynch, who's on the staff and has always helped us with everything we need, Kevin Stevens, the principal, the faculty of the OHS, and I'd especially like to thank the custodial staff, because they've been right here to help us from setup in the cafeteria, prepping everything in the auditorium. They'll be here later today to help clean up. So the custodial staff has done a wonderful job for us. What you see here, there's so many people that make this happen. We only tend to recognize a few, and I'm making my pitch for anybody who wants to join a committee and help. It makes things a lot easier because we can spread the work around. With that, I'd like to introduce Tom Brindley, the superintendent of the Oneonta School District, and he has a few words to offer.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for ordering such a beautiful day to have this event on. We certainly appreciate that. It is a beautiful afternoon for for you all, a beautiful day for you all, and for our athletes playing today. So really, really nice. I just wanted to briefly just mention that I truly hope that this weekend is filled with all the things that are meaningful to you all. As a superintendent, but more so, part of this Yellow Jacket team for the last 25 years, 6 as a superintendent, I'm honored to be a part of the rich Yellow Jacket traditions you all have contributed to. Oneonta is a very special place. I wasn't born here, but I got here as quickly as I could. On behalf of all of us in the Oneonta City School District, congratulations to all of today's inductees. I know they're outside and hopefully they can hear, but they serve as incredible ambassadors who have enriched the legacy of this great school. Your successes, or their successes, and contributions will continue to inspire current and future generations of students as they pause for a moment to read all about them on the plaques that adorn the walls of our building here. Just to quickly share how your alma mater is doing, our class of 1986 member, Alumni Association Secretary, and our Assistant Superintendent, Colleen Moore, continues to do amazing work fostering a strong academic growth model for our students here. Here we recognize how important the basics are. Under Colleen's direction, all of our primary staff have essentially become reading teachers through our collaboration with the Reading League. Life, I'm sure you would agree, is a reading test, and we are committed to our students to help them ace it. We have also embarked on a $30.45 million capital improvement project here in the district. Finally, Valley View and this building will receive new roofs, which couldn't be happier about. The 70-year-old board and batten siding that is on Riverside and Greater Plains School will finally be replaced. We're going to have a new fire alarm system and PA system in all of our buildings to keep us safe. And 2 years from now, you will walk into a state-of-the-art, fully renovated Belden Auditorium. Maintaining the rich architectural history that initially this building was created with. I so wanted to save these chairs. Now I know this sounds crazy, but they just don't make seats like this anymore. But unfortunately, that is not an option, but we're going to find a great replacement. In this district, we are fiscally sound and to continue to offer our students an academic, social, extracurricular opportunity that is unmatched in our region. We stand committed to preparing our students for whatever their next is. And we do all of that through tremendous support from our community and the OHS Alumni Association, and for that, we are really, really grateful. Lastly, at each graduation, I share with our seniors that upon leaving this Yellow Jacket nest, they will go on to do great things and hold many titles and wear many hats. Some go on and become musicians. Some become dolphins. Some become broncos, a pirate, a hawk, a blue jay, a ray, a big red bear, a colonel, moms and dads, employers and employees. There are many titles that you all possess, but please know that however far time or distance may take you away from here, our doors are always open, for you will forever be Yellow Jackets. So I say that to say this: welcome home, and have a great day.
Superintendent Brindley, thank you very much. We appreciate your words and we appreciate everything that you're doing for our school district. As we move along here, it's my pleasure now to introduce our 2024 Alumni of the Year. Our Alumni of the Year is Tim Catella. We started recognizing Alumni of the Year in 2004. And if you look through your programs, you'll see that there's a list of names, not only for Alumni of the Year, but for our Wall of Distinction and for our Athletic Hall of Fame. You'll see that we list all of the inductees that we have. In the hallway, there's a plaque where we list the names of the Alumni of the Year, and on the hallway that's perpendicular, it's parallel to the room here, is where all of our plaques are for I'm sure that Tim would like me to stop right now and just say, here's Tim Catella. But I'm not going to do that. My answer is no. And I thought, how should I introduce Tim? How should I begin to introduce Tim? And I really came up with one simple answer, 4 digits, 2022, 2022. In 2021, Vince Fodi retired from being Master of Ceremonies, retired from Chairman of our Athletic Hall of Fame, and we needed somebody to replace him. And all of you know Vince Fodi. Vince has big shoes to fill. Well, Tim stepped up in 2022, 22, 23, and 24. Tim's in his 3rd year now as Chairman of the Athletic Hall of Fame and the Master of Ceremonies for the induction ceremony. But that's all you see. There's so much more that Tim does behind the scenes. With the Anthony Drago Alumni Golf Classic, our golf tournament that took place yesterday. Master of Ceremonies here, like I mentioned. He attends our association meetings, but there's also the committee meetings that he takes care of. All of the applications and the selection for our distinguished athletes, there's just so much more that he does behind the scenes year-round. Alumni Weekend is a wonderful 3-day event, golf tournament, activities today with the induction ceremony. There's reunions that each individual class has. Tomorrow there's some activities, but there's so much that goes on year-round that you don't see that Tim's directly a part of. In 2021, like I say, Vince Fodi retired, and we knew that he'd have big shoes to fill, but Tim filled them not only with the size of Vince's shoes, but a couple pluses. So many years from now, when Tim decides to step down from the Athletic Hall of Fame and Master of Ceremonies, it's going to be an awfully large shoe to fill. So it's my pleasure to introduce Tim Catella as the 2024 Alumni of the Year. I tried to cover as much as I could because I didn't know how much Tim had to say, and I was hoping it would be more than just thank you.
We're very lucky that he's our leader. I can tell you that. Many more years. If you see the president's plaque out there, it says the beginning year in a dash. We're not filling it in for a long time. When this first occurred, this alumnus of the year, I pushed back. I wasn't having it. And I was soon approached by a prior alumnus of the year who suggested that I accept it, enjoy it, and be proud. So in your mind's eye, for just a few seconds, I want you to picture, using your very best teacher voice, Mary Drago. And here we are. And the weekend was approaching. I kept thinking about that proud of. What am I proud of when it comes to Oneonta High School? And it's many things. But for this purpose, I needed to condense those things. And I found that very easy to do. I'm proud of my father. The son of an Italian immigrant, he was the second youngest of 11 and the only one to graduate from high school. And his plaque's on that wall of distinction. I'm proud of my 2 older brothers, Jim and John. Jim graduating from the largest class in OHS history, 363 students. He graduated at the top academically and is one of the best middle distance runners the Iroquois League ever saw. I'm proud of my Catella and McGraw nieces and nephews who each had very accomplished high school careers here. I'm proud of Mary Kate, Megan, and Seamus, who went to the same high school as their dad, and as it should be, outshined him every step of the way. Thank God for Kelly. And I am proud of my association teammates, those individuals I get to work with on those committees. If you're not already involved, I suggest you look into it. It's very worthwhile. So yes, Mary Drago, yes, Andy Capra, Joe Hughes, Janet Bryceland, Tammy Southard, Everett Maroney, yes, I accept this, I'm enjoying it, and I'm proud that I'm a Yellow Jacket. Thank you. And now, on behalf of the entire Oneonta High School Alumni Association, it is my privilege to introduce to you the class of inductees for 2024. From the class of 1969, Wall of Distinction inductee Colonel Charles W. Fox. From the class of 1990, Wall of Distinction inductee Darren Wilsey. From the class accepting for the class of 1965, Wall of Distinction inductee John Costa. I'm sorry, I just screwed up. No, I didn't. Kim Basket. Excuse me. Accepting for the class of 2000 Wall of Distinction inductee Eric Neander is Aaron Lathan. Accepting for the class of 1953 Wall of Distinction inductee John Ogden Whitaker is William Whitaker. From the class of 1968 Athletic Hall of Fame inductee John Zagata. From the class of 2000, Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Mike Conley. From the class of 1981, Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Ron Hoover Carey. From the class of 2015, Athletic Hall of Fame inductee Madison Miller Bodie. Athletic Hall of Fame organization inductee representing the Sixth Ward Athletic Club, Rich Myers. Madison signs. I've never seen it. To introduce our Wall of Distinction honorees, it's my privilege to introduce one of the co-chairs, Chad Smith.
Morning, everyone. It's my distinct honor to introduce an extraordinary leader and patriot, Colonel Charles W. Fox, CW, retired, class of 1969. Colonel Fox's journey of service began in 1970 when he answered the call of duty as a North Vietnamese linguist in the U.S. Army. After his active duty, he transitioned to the Army National Guard and later to the Air National Guard, where he trained as a navigator. His distinguished career continued as he took on the vital role of mobilization assistant to the Air Force Chief of Safety, supporting U.S. Air Forces in Europe, in air, and in space operations. Throughout his remarkable 30-year military career, Colonel Fox embodied the highest values of integrity, service, and excellence. As a squadron and wing commander, he was more than just a leader. He was a mentor to countless airmen and junior officers, helping guide them through critical career development and advancement programs. His leadership truly shined during Operation Enduring Freedom in 2003 when he commanded the 321st Air Expeditionary Wing. Under his command, the wing earned his prestigious Air Force Outstanding Unit Award of Valor, a testament to his exceptional leadership. Colonel Fox also served our nation beyond the military, retiring from the U.S. Postal Inspection Service with over 31 years of federal government service, where he held a variety of key law enforcement positions. Even in retirement, his commitment to service continues through his active volunteer efforts within military communities where he remains a guiding force. Please join me in welcoming Colonel C.W. Fox.
I guess I'm supposed to say a few words, but since I found out it's being recorded, the first thing I have to say, it was a technical error last night that Dean Irby didn't get a general announcement when he came to the Alumni Association last night. And the second thing is, any rumor that he got a hole in one, supposedly he has picture evidence that he did yesterday. So it's a privilege to be here, and I am surprised and deeply humbled by this accolade to be here among the other inductees who have highly distinguished themselves by their considerable accomplishments. I only hope in some way that I am a small reflection in the accomplishments known and unknown to all my classmates in 1969. What I wanted to say, in the movie Forrest Gump, there's a line that he says, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get." I think I can truly say that line is a reflection of my life today. In my box of chocolates, there's been marriage, parenthood, Army linguist, Vietnam, letter carrier, postal inspector, polygraph examiner, Air Force navigator, Desert Storm, squadron commander, wing commander, Operation Enduring Freedom, Iraqi Freedom, and I've been to 5 of the 7 continents, courtesy of Uncle Sam. Bank investigator, compliance analyst, helicopter pilot, the death of my spouse, strong friendship. But all I want to talk about today is friendship. Friendship became very important to me in Vietnam. And I owe my military buddies a lot of thanks for that. Friendship is very important with the loss of my wife. And there's people here today and not here today that I really recognize and talk about. There's people like Julie and Kathy and Marlene, who I've known since first grade, that came to my wife's service. There's Ed and Raleigh, who's been a really, really good friend. Cindy Warrington, who's really been supportive to me. And what I take away from all that is how important friendship is when you need it. And I hope that every one of you in your own box of chocolates someday have the ability to find friendship. And also one other person I want to mention, he's not here, but Gary Ferrer, who I haven't seen since high school when he found out about my wife's passing, he checks in with me every couple of weeks to see how I'm doing. And a close buddy of mine from Vietnam checks in with me every day. So I feel I'm truly blessed.
Our next honoree is Darren Wilsey. It's a true pleasure to introduce someone whose talent and creativity have left an indelible mark on the world of music and entertainment. Darren Wilsey, class of 1990, is a highly accomplished composer, songwriter, and author whose work has appeared in over 120 network television series and movies. His contribution to the industry have not only entertained audiences worldwide, but have also earned him recognition as one of the leading talents in this field. His Darren's music spans a remarkable range of genres, from rock and pop to electronic, film score, crossover, classical. His versatility and creative spirit have set him apart, and his work has been featured in some of the most iconic moments on television and in film in over the past 2 decades. In 2022, the release of his compilation album, TV Songs and Film Music, along with Darren Wilsey, Music on Television, showcased some of his most noteworthy song placements, celebrating 20 years of his exceptional contributions to the medium. Beyond his accomplishments in composing, Darren is also a published songwriter, having earned the prestigious title of 2-time grand prize winner of the John Lennon Songwriting Contest, an honor that highlights his ability to craft songs that resonate on both a personal and universal level. His discography is as diverse as it is impressive, reflecting his dedication to pushing the boundaries of musical expression. Please join me in welcoming Darren Wilsey.
Good morning, everyone. I am grateful to be part of this year's Wall of Distinction ceremony. Congratulations to all the other 2024 inductees. Know that your impressive life accomplishments will serve as an inspiration for future Oneonta High School students. It's humbling to be included among such luminaries. I now stand before you on the very stage where a younger version of me once performed many concerts and recitals. Then, there were the talent shows in 1988 and 1990. And finally, on June 24th of that year, I was accompanied by my fellow classmates on this stage for our graduation ceremony. It is an honor to be representing the OHS class of 1990. Revisiting this stage after such a long time is very meaningful, and I extend my deepest gratitude to the Oneonta Alumni Association for providing this special opportunity. You see, during high school, I erroneously assumed that the finest artistic training could only be realized in places like New York City, Boston, or Los Angeles, the epicenters of the academic and entertainment world at the time. However, that didn't turn out to be the case. The most impactful teachers I would ever encounter were right here in Oneonta, and especially during high school. For this reason, I dedicate this honor and award to the following outstanding teachers: my guitar instructor, Dennis Turchek, piano instructors Christina Turchek and Sam Gustad, former Oneonta High School band director Scott Raveler, and OHS art instructor Judith Campbell, among others. I encourage OHS to continue its unwavering support of both the arts and the sciences. Why? The arts inspire science, and in turn, science inspires the arts. This forms a symbiotic relationship that propels the progress of both. Some of the people who would probably most appreciate this acknowledgement are no longer with us. However, their mentorship during and after high school had a profound effect on my life. These include people like Robert McMullen Jr., OHS class of 1982, David Cole, OHS class of 1986, and my father, Timothy Wilsey, OHS class of 1969. And finally, I'm especially grateful to my mother, Christine Wilsey, OHS class of 1969. I would also like to extend my deepest appreciation to my own family, my beautiful family in California, to Colleen Moore and Shane Steniford for their unyielding support. Thank you to the Stenifords, Williams, and Molinari families, my brother Jared Wilsey, OHS class of 1994, and to all the other family and friends who are here today in attendance. Thank you.
Our next Wall of Distinction inductee is John Costa, class of 1965. John had a prior commitment that he just could not change and so cannot be with us today. He sent a few words that Wall of Distinction Committee member Kim Baskin will read on his behalf. Before I bring Kim to the podium, I want to tell you a few things about John's distinguished career. John is not one to boast, but thankfully his brother, Joseph, recognized him as a very worthy Wall of Distinction nominee. The following is taken from the nomination form received from Joseph. John Costa graduated from Oneonta High School in 1965. He received his undergraduate degree from the State University College at Oneonta in 1969. He received his PhD in Geography and Environmental Engineering from Johns Hopkins University in 1973 and served honorably in the National Guard. John was an associate professor at the University of Denver and co-authored the Official Geology, a college-level textbook that has been in print for more than 30 years. John joined the U.S. Geological Survey in 1981 and became the supervisor and manager of the Cascades Volcanic Observatory. Additionally, he was, for an unprecedented 8 years, the editor of the most distinguished academic journal devoted to geological science, the Geological Society of America Bulletin. John is one of America's leading authorities on floods, and his pioneering work on debris flow and hydrologic hazards, as well as his contribution to the National Stream Flow Information Program, were cited by his colleagues in a plaque presented to him on the occasion of his retirement from the U.S. Geological Survey. John became a special consultant to FEMA and created an algorithm that measures the frequency and severity of flooding, and a scientific accomplishment that now makes it possible for FEMA to calculate whether a flood is likely to occur every 10 years or every 100 years, so that equipment and supplies can be staged in anticipation of a catastrophic event. He received the United States Department of the Interior honor for meritorious service in 1996 and the Geological Society of America Distinguished Career Award in recognition of excellence and contribution to science in 2009. I now invite Kim to the podium to read John's remarks.
So remarks by John Costa. Thank you to the OHS Alumni Association for including me in the 2024 Wall of Distinction. I apologize for not being here in person. I believe no one moves through life making predominantly good decisions and life choices without the help of examples set by family, teachers, coaches, mentors, and friends. For me, many of these individuals are no longer with us, but their impacts and influence on me were profound. The early 1960s were fun times with my OHS best friends, Mike Belden, Joe Smith, and John Simcoe Jr. My mother raised 4 children by herself while working full-time as a director of nursing at the Old Homer Folks Hospital. A strong, successful woman was my authority figure and my role model, and I carried those feelings into my life and work. I took group tennis lessons in Wilbur Park from an early age. George Waddington and Buddy Perrone taught the throngs of young players. Later, they both coached the OHS tennis team that had a string of over 20 wins in a row. Mr. Waddington in 1964, then Buddy Perrone in 1965, drove me to West Point to play in the Public High School Athletic Association tennis singles tournament for sectional winners. I enjoyed and will always remember the quiet and private times that they spent with me. Barbara Super, Miss Johnson, Joseph Ramp, Frank Gallucci, and John Chamard, among others, were excellent teachers and educators. I tried to use their examples in my own college teaching. Charles A. Belden, principal, is one of the most remarkable people I have ever known. I suspect many of you here today never had the chance to interact with him. Folks like Mr. Belden only come around infrequently. Educational and excellence does not come about by accident. His aura of wisdom, fortitude, goodness, and empathy set the tone for a wonderful faculty and his personal interest in each and every student. Thank you, Mr. Belden, for what you meant to me. Your name and legacy are inseparable from Oneonta High School. Thank you.
It's my great pleasure to introduce a true innovator in the world of professional baseball. Someone whose passion, hard work, and adaptability have reshaped the trajectory of a franchise. Eric Neander, a proud member of the class of 1995, currently serves as the president of baseball operations for the Tampa Bay Rays. Eric's journey to this prestigious position is nothing short of remarkable. While he initially pursued studies in aerospace engineering and health sciences at Virginia Tech, it was his deep love for the game of baseball that ultimately charted a different course for his career. A standout player at Oneonta High School, where he achieved one of the highest batting averages in school history, Eric transitioned from playing the game to analyzing it. His early work with Baseball Info Solutions, a consulting firm for MLB teams, helped build his reputation as someone who could truly understand player performance in ways that few others could. In 2007, Eric joined the Tampa Bay Rays as an intern. 17 seasons later, he has come full circle, rising to the top of the organization. He has served as general manager and since 2021 has been president of baseball operations. Under his leadership, the Rays have consistently defied expectations, fielding competitive teams year after year through smart trades, a strong farm system, an unwavering commitment to innovation, all while working with one of the more modest payrolls in the league. Eric's dedication extends beyond the ballpark. He and his wife Jessica reside in Tampa with their sons Penn and Corbin and their daughter Eden and their 4 rescue animals. Unfortunately, Eric was unable to make the journey to accept this award, so please welcome his good friend Aaron Latham to honor Eric on his behalf.
Morning, everyone. I'm honored to be recognized by Oneonta High School and to be placed on the Wall of Distinction. Although I can't be there in person today, for which I'm quite sorry, I'm truly grateful for this honor. In addition, congratulations to all those being recognized today, Mike, especially you. I wanted to first extend an extra special thanks to John Higgins, my Valley View Elementary School principal. John's unwavering support has been nothing short of extraordinary. He made a promise to my late father-in-law that he would nominate and renominate me until this happened. Lucky for me, they finally gave in. Good thing he knew me better as in elementary school and as an adult, rather than the 4 years I spent in his building. In all seriousness, Mr. Higgins' dedication, love, support, and mentorship has meant so much to me and my family throughout the years. And we cannot thank you enough for believing in me for so long. I want to thank my wonderful wife, Jessica, who also grew up in the setting of the hills. Jessica, your love and dedication have been my foundation. We got together as I was foolishly chasing a career in the game I love, a pursuit that became less foolish over time, in large part due to your steady belief along the way. Sleeping on mattresses I brought in from the dumpster was worth it, mostly anyways. Thank you to my mom, late dad, and family for giving me the love and everything I needed to chase my passion. Any accomplishments wouldn't have been possible without you. Winding down, my sincere gratitude to all the teachers, coaches, especially Coach Jester and Coach Hughes, and childhood friends, many of whom I'm still close with to this day. A person's formative years are shaped by the community they grow up in, and I'm so grateful that happened here. This recognition is a strong reflection of the incredible belief and encouragement I've received from all of you. And lastly, while reading this aloud might be weird, it is. Thanks, Aaron, for accepting this honor on my behalf. Thanks for being a great friend, and quite literally being my first Oneonta friend. Never could I have imagined that playing together for Upcountry Photo would take us here, a friendship as special and timeless as Oneonta itself. I'm incredibly proud to have grown up here and hope to be back soon. Thank you.
Our final inductee is Dr. John Whitaker Jr., class of 1953. John now lives in Indiana and unfortunately could not make the long trek back to Oneonta to accept his award. Thankfully, his brother and nominator, William Whitaker, still lives close by and is here with us today to accept John's award and speak to his many noteworthy accomplishments. I know I was certainly impressed when I learned John authored several books, one of which has sold over 1 million copies and known by many in this room. I could go on and list John's career highlights, but I think Bill, who is clearly and rightfully so proud of his brother, will do a much better job presenting the fascinating details of John's career in science. Bill, welcome to the stage.
Thank you and good morning. Glad to be here on behalf of my brother. We're all getting a little old, especially my brother, 4 years older than I. Anyway, when he was a teenager, my mother decided that she could no longer go in his room because in his room were these jars full of formaldehyde with dead things. She said, "That's it, John, I'm not going in there anymore." I think his mentor probably was George Reynolds, science teacher, who started John on this path to his career. I might add that George Reynolds was also his tennis coach. And John and his partner Warren Gray won the state championships in 1952. He and his partner Bill Campbell won the New York State Championship in 1953. Which I'm quite proud of that, so was John. Anyway, going on, leaving high school, he went on to Cornell, got his PhD, and took a position at Indiana State University and stayed there for over 50 years. Still working and still writing. I guess I should have brought my notes, but I'm getting out of sequence here, but that's okay. While at Indiana State, he produced over 300 scientific papers for publication. Quite an accomplishment. He also wrote 5 books, the most popular of which was the Audubon Field Guide to American Mammals. He essentially was an ecologist, a mammologist, and a zoologist, if you can put all those together, which he did. He took his students mostly to the field to do their work, and that was appreciated by them, I believe, because that's where the action was. In recent years, he became known as the foremost or the dean of American mammalogists. Now, I was told that personally by the provost at Harvard College. I don't know how that came about, but that's what he told me. He also was known as the Batman of Indiana. What does that mean? Well, John became fascinated with the life and times of bats. Now, most of us don't give a minute's thought about bats or how important they are to our lives, which they are. He held a symposium every year for about 5 years out in Indiana, and it was attended by hundreds of people who wanted to learn about bats. So that, I think, was also interesting to acquaint the rest of us with a little furry mammal about which none of us know anything, except now some of us know how important they are. John would have come, but he only makes one trip a year. His trip earlier in the spring to Alabama to look at birds. He's still in it. His final, maybe hope it's not his final, but another task he's involved in is for 50 years he measured the circumference of trees. Now he has all this data. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it, but something you can be sure of. So, anyway, on behalf of my brother John, I'm happy to be able to speak to his career, and thank you all for being
Our first inductee into the Athletic Hall of Fame is from the class of 1968, John Zagata. John earned 3 varsity letters in basketball and 2 in track. It was on the hardwood where Beano dominated the Iroquois League in 1967 and 68. He was a first-team selection and league MVP in both of those seasons. He set the OHS basketball single-game scoring record with 38 points in a game against Rome Catholic. In 1969 league championship game, his 60-footer at the buzzer propelled OHS to the title over Ilion. He was named team captain in 1968, leading the league in scoring with an average of 21.4 points per game. In that year's title game, Oneonta beat Norwich 58-57, with John scoring 29. In track and field, he was a standout high jumper, triple jumper, and a member of the 4x880 relay team, qualifying for sectionals in all three sports. Please welcome John Zagala.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the Wall of the Simpson people. Congratulations. I'd also like to congratulate Ronald, Michael, Madison, and Sixth Ward Athletic Club. I'd like to thank Tim Cattell and the rest of the Hall of Fame committee for nominating me and accepting me for this position. I'd also like to thank Jan Norton Coogan, who's a member of the Hall of Fame here, my cousin who nominated me. It's a big thing. A couple things. I'd like to first of all mention Tony Drago, the ex-AD and basketball coach here. Tony was a good friend of my parents, and I remember going to a lot of the games at the Armory, watching him coach great teams. It was nice seeing some of the faculty or former players last night at the Boys Club. He was a good friend of my dad's, and he really took me under his wings, taking me to summer camps, making me a better player. And because of his teaching, his education with me and things like that, I became a much better player, and I really appreciate it. We became good friends with the family. I'm still good friends with the family. Every year, I live in Syracuse, and every year I come down and do flowers at my parents', and I used to always stop up there at the Drago's house before he died. And it's just, they're just a great family. I'd like to really thank them. So that's, appreciate you. Next, in 6th grade, I went to St. Mary's, and I had a sister, Mary John Bosco, who was probably the best teacher I've ever had. Excuse the language, but she's a little crazy, but she was very, very good. She used to take us down in the gym, and she'd pull back her habit and play basketball with us. She was probably one of the dirtiest players I've ever played with. Elbowing me, pushing me, talking to me, taunting me. It came to a point where you wanted to elbow or push her back. But you couldn't because she was a sister, her teacher, and she was a female. But her taunting me and me kind of saying, I can't listen, I can't do it, made me a much better player in life, because when I became a pretty good player in high school, people started taunting me. I just said, Sister Mary John Bosco, just kept playing. But it was really something to be in her class, and she really had taught me a lot. My high school coaches, George Matola was my high school coach. My JV coach was the Hall of Fame inductee, a local person, Nick Lambrose. Funny story about Nick. He was my JV coach in my sophomore year. We played, I think, middle of December. We were 3-0. We went up to Amsterdam and played Amsterdam. And we lost by 2 points. Of course, Nick said it was the referee. It's a different board. They're terrible referees. Don't worry about it. Well, about 2 weeks later, Terry Deary and I got moved up to varsity. Played on the varsity. Middle of February, Amsterdam is going to come down and play Oneonta again. Nick didn't say, George, may I take these 2 players back? He said, they're coming with me, they're playing with me. And we beat Amsterdam by 27 points. Nick was a very happy camper. The 67-68 team I met last night, I don't know if they're here now, Tim Parsons, Rich Gustafson, or Chuck Gustafson and Mike Super, I don't know if you're here, but they're part of a team. We had 2 great years. A lot of people don't remember, we used to be in the old Iroquois League, so we used to go up to Herkimer all the time and play the 4 or 5 schools up there. Afterwards, we always go to the Herkimer Diner, park the car, go to Yeti's Pizza, whatever it may be. A couple things. I'd like to thank my mom and dad for dedicating themselves. I don't think my father ever mentioned the game. They mentioned that 60-foot bank shot I made to win the league championship. My father got so excited he passed out. Anybody knows my father, it took about 25 people to pick him up. But, it was very exciting, a very good time. Things I'd like to announce about some people that came. They want to stand up, they can. My son John from Houston, Texas. My son Ryan, his wife Thea, and their 2 kids, Luke and Elodie, from Brooklyn. My daughter, Dr. Elizabeth, who just got her doctorate from the University of Connecticut. I'm very proud of her. Her husband Scott, Daniel, and Leah. And my daughter Barb, Vinny, and Audra. Audra just accepted a scholarship to the University of Rhode Island. She's a very good player in ball in Syracuse. Thank you all for coming very much. My sister, Marilyn, who's also a member of the Hall of Fame here, and also her husband, Dave, who's in the Wall of Distinction, are here, and I'd like to thank them. And last but not least, my wife, Mary Beth, died 10 years ago of cancer, and she grew up in Rensselaer, which was on the other side of Albany. So we go down and see her family. She had 10 brothers and sisters, so we spent quite a bit of time down there. And she used to kid me, we always used to have to stop. She knew where Herkimer, Mohawk, Ilion, Frankfort, Little Falls gyms were. She knew how many points I scored each time we went there. And she also went to the Herkimer Diner and Yeti's Pizza many times. And it got to a point where she said, we don't have to stop today, do we? Can we just drive home? And we did. But I miss her, and she was a great wife and a great mother. Last but not least, I'd like to say go Yellow Jackets, and may God continue to bless all of us. Thank you.
From the class of 2000, Mike Conley. Mike was a 3-sport athlete, earning a total of 10 varsity letters in soccer, basketball, and baseball. On the soccer pitch, Mike amassed 73 goals and 45 assists. In baseball, he was named First Team All-League 3 times, First Team Daily Star 3 times, the Daily Star Player of the Year, and First Team All-State. In his 4-year baseball career, Mike played in all 85 varsity games. He compiled a 26-3 pitching record with 329 strikeouts, 9 shutouts, and 3 no-hitters. At the plate, he finished with a .409 batting average, 103 hits, 102 runs scored, and 35 stolen bases. He did commit 2 errors in 4 years. He was drafted out of OHS by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 2000 Major League Baseball Amateur Player Draft. Please welcome Mike Conley.
I won't lie, my speech will not be very long, but I just want to say thank you for the award. If my grandmother was still alive, she would have wrote this for me. It was, at this point now, just be short and sweet. I want to thank I want to say thanks to my mom and dad for supporting all my athletic endeavors. I want to say thanks to Oneonta High School for all the opportunities I had here, and I really truly appreciate it. I appreciate all the help from the coaches I've had, Alex Brennan, Jerry Mackey, Joe Hughes, Mike Jester. Mike Jester, I really appreciate all the time you spent in helping me develop as a player, I lost myself. Developing as a baseball player and the love for the game. Just want to say thanks for everything, and truly appreciate this honor. Thank you very much.
Mike had a speech. From the class of 1981, Goober Carey. A standout and highly competitive athlete, Goober is one of only a few OHS athletes to be named First Team All-Stat in both baseball and basketball. On the court, he averaged 20 points a game over his varsity career. At the conclusion of the 1981 season, he was the 7th all-time leading scorer in Yellow Jacket history. In a stellar performance against the undefeated and then state-ranked Union Endicott Tigers, Goober surpassed John Zagata's single-game scoring record by 1, netting 39. And I think it's important, these two guys never saw a three-point line. On the diamond, he was just as fierce a competitor, being a solid defender, and leading his team with a .360 batting average. I like calling him my friend. Please welcome Goober Carey.
Things never change, that's for sure. Well, I want to say congratulations to all the other inductees. These are some notes we took while we were hanging out at the bar in the garage, so I might not be able to read them all here. But I had 4 months to prepare for this. I really didn't do anything. I just kind of, I more or less just wanted to get it over with. While I was playing with golf with a guy like Joey Hughes, it's a big deal, and it is. And then what happened yesterday at the golf tournament at the boys club, that's quite an event, and the Alumni Association should be congratulated on what they do. I appreciate the honor. I want to talk about my growing up in Oneonta. Playing ball in Oneonta was a great thing. I mean, very competitive. I grew up in the late '60s, early '70s. It makes me feel a little old, but I got drafted by Team Elks, and I got there. I was my first time at practice. Coach says, "Go grab a bag, grab a ball, grab a helmet, get in there, and take some hit practice." So I get in the box there, and there's this guy out there pitching, and I sort of hit the catcher like 6 times in the chest, threw 2 over the backstop, and I'm going, I look and he threw hard, and I said, I told you I ain't hitting against this guy. And he, anyway, I got in there and I made some good contact. That kind of started my baseball career, but by the way, that guy's name is Mark May. The guy was huge. And I'm glad he was on my team, unlike Everett, who first time he ever faced him, Everett Baroni, Mark beamed him. And I could still picture him today. Carry him back to the dugout. He was crying like a little baby. I'll never forget that. I'm just glad Mark was on my team. Of course, after that, at Little League, we won a lot of championships, and so that was all good. And I want to thank all my baseball teammates, if you're here today, for being there for me. And basketball, now that's another whole thing here. We were, of course, the Lower Deckers boys club, and of course, all the bigwigs were at the Y. But I can tell you, we never lost a game to them. So then when we got 7th grade, I got to meet them all, and we had an undefeated basketball team in 7th grade, and of course, the rest is history. But I think I got the whole basketball team here today. I want to shout out to Pat Healy, Kevin McCarthy, Tony Drago, Jeff Sloan, Jerry Pontifino, Rich Spearback. Best teammates ever. Thank you. I want to thank my basketball coach in high school, Bobby Z. I mean, him and I really didn't see eye to eye a lot, but when it was time to play, he knew who to call on. So he didn't like to lose just as much as I did. So, and by the way, I'm 0-25 against him in golf. That tells you how much he wants to win. So. Last but not least, I'd like to thank my class of '81. All the guys are here today, but we had the greatest crowds. Never played a game that wasn't packed. So I thank you guys all for that. And I'm really honored for this award, and I thank the Alumni Association. I thank you very much.
Just found out that Goober broke his record. Things could get interesting. From the class of 2015, Madison Miller Fody. Madison earned a total of 6 varsity letters in soccer and basketball. leading her teams to multiple sectional and stack championships, being the captain of both teams her senior year. A four-year varsity starter, she was a key member of the 13 Class B State Girls Soccer Championship team, and she scored the winning goal in the championship game. She was named All-State 3 times, culminating with a first-team selection in 2014. She was twice named the Daily Star Co-Player of the Year. Madison was named an All-Stack athlete 6 times, 4 times in soccer and 2 times in basketball. Coach Miller stated that because of her soccer skills, people forget how good she really was as a hoopster. She finished her basketball career 4th all-time in blocked shots. Get your signs up. Please welcome Madison Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Catella. First, I want to congratulate everyone here on the stage today. It's a huge honor to be alongside you. I'm humbled to be up here with you and to be joining the wall filled with pictures of incredible athletes that I walked by every day while I was in high school. Thank you to the Alumni Association for putting on such a wonderful weekend year after year. It always makes me extra grateful to be from here. I want to thank Mr. Vince Foti for nominating me for this honor. Funny enough, he's not only my father-in-law, but he is my former travel soccer coach at the Oneonta Soccer Club as well. Mr. Foti would text me after my college soccer games, and there was nothing like opening my phone to a "way to go, Madison Miller" after a game. He has always been in my corner, regardless of the ring on my finger. He has had a lot to do with my development as a soccer player, so I also want to thank him for that. It is a little nerve-wracking to be up here speaking, but it's an opportunity to speak about some pretty incredible people that have had such a great influence on my life. My teammates, my coaches, and my family. I was so fortunate to play alongside the teammates that I did. Not only were they extremely talented athletes, but they were all competitive, driven, and dedicated to success. It was a culture we all bought into. We had a lot of fun, but we also worked incredibly hard. Mackey camp was packed, open gym was full, and most of us played postseason soccer and or basketball. We had high expectations for each other and ourselves because our coaches set that bar for us. We didn't complain about it, we believed them and worked for it. It couldn't just be one person though, it had to be the majority, and it was. I played team sports and can honestly say my teammates made me better, and I wouldn't be up here today without them. We played with and for each other. In college, some of my teammates talked about how much they loved their travel team way more than their school team. I told them my travel team was my school team, and I loved high school soccer. I had a great experience playing for Hartwood College. I had great coaches, amazing teammates, but if I had to choose which experience to live over again, it would be my high school one. Playing with people you've grown up with is incredibly special. I played with the same girls for 10 years. There's nothing like playing a sport you love, for a place you love, with the people you love. There are a couple of people not on the roster that were very much still part of this team, Miss Kathy Lynch and Dr. David Kucinich. Miss Lynch was our team mom. In fact, she's everyone's team mom. The amount that this woman does for our teams, our district, and our community is immeasurable. She always has gone above and beyond, and she continues to do so. We were and are so grateful for you, Miss Lynch. Dr. Kucinich was key in fixing us up when we were injured. Personally, and I know this goes for many others as well, he was my go-to. Whether it was recommending a pair of compression shorts or sitting on the bench during a game working on my sprained ankle, he helped me get and stay healthy to play time and time again. So thank you so much to these very important people. Now, as far as coaches go, I have had the greatest coaches out there, all the way from modified to varsity. Coach Scanlon, Coach Condon, Coach Moreland, Coach Miller, and Coach Mackey. I'm so thankful for them, as well as my Oneonta Soccer Club and Boys and Girls Club coaches. My coaches have never really stopped coaching me. I still get advice from Coach Foti, Coach Miller, and Coach Mackey quite often. Coach Miller was my JV soccer coach and my varsity basketball coach. He is a huge part of my development as both an athlete and as a person. I've always wanted to make him proud, not only as his player, but as his little cousin. He has been a fantastic role model in this community, but especially to me. Something that always stood out to me that he would say is how each person on the team matters to our success, whether you're the leading scorer or the last off the bench who might guard the leading scorer in practice. Everyone is key to the team, so we each had to take pride in what we did each day. He meant it when he said all in, and we did too. No matter how much time we got on the court, we all bought into making each other better, for it was what was good for the team. So thank you, Mel. Coach Mackey was my varsity soccer coach for 4 great years. He too coached far beyond the field. He constantly reminded us to stay in the moment, trust the process, and play as a team. He not only emphasized class, but he modeled it as well. Normally after a state championship win, a coach's immediate thought is to celebrate with the team. Instead, Coach Mackey checked on the other team's goalie first after a heartbreaking goal was scored on her with 5 minutes left. If you ask any one of us on that team about that day, I'm sure that memory would come up. That is something that stands out, pure class and sportsmanship. That state title would not have been possible without the standard that had been set for years before we were even in the program. Coach Mackey pushed us past what we thought was possible. Sprints after games, sprints during games, sprints before games. You get the picture. It made us better though when we wore it like a badge of honor. It was almost humbling to still sprint after a clean win. Humbling in the fact that we were never better than putting in hard work. All of my coaches have been so influential in my life and I can never thank them enough. I also want to thank my support system, my family. It meant so much to look at the stands and see my aunts and uncles, my cousins, my sister, my parents, and my grandparents. My grandparents would even travel to away games through college as well. Their support has meant so much to me and I always looked forward to my post-game greetings from them. Then there's my sister, one of my biggest supporters. I mean, what teenager wants to go watch a soccer game in a freezing bubble on a Saturday, every Saturday, for years? My amazing sister, that's who. Yes, the deal was sweetened with some shopping after the game, but I know that she was there because she wanted to be. She has been the most supportive and incredible sister I could have ever asked for. Both of my parents are my heroes. I never heard them complain about sports and all the time that it took up. Now that I'm an adult, I realize that they probably could have used some more downtime. I know they enjoyed it though, and in their enjoyment, I felt their support. I don't know how they found all that energy to do everything they did for me and my sister, but they did it with a smile. They supported us and encouraged us in such an incredible way. I never felt pressure from them. They were just happy to be there and cheer. It helped foster my love for sports. They would often tell me when I was nervous for a game, "Maddie, we still get to take you home with us after." And boy was I lucky to go home to what I did. A supportive, loving house. I hope I can be half the parent that both of them are. I'd also like to thank my husband, George. I am so thankful for you and the support that you've given me. I'm proud of the person, teacher, and coach that you are, and I look forward to seeing you be an incredible father. I love being on the other side of OHS athletics with you as coaches. I look forward to continuing to cheer each other on in this new phase of our lives. I hope my players, who I see a lot of them back there today, have the same joy that I had, not only because of the success we shared, but because of the memories we made. Mr. Mackey always said to enjoy the ride and stay in the moment, and it was actually my senior quote. It wasn't until I was fully finished with soccer that I'm able to truly appreciate that quote. Winning was amazing, but I can't tell you the play-by-play of every game. I can tell you about the practices where the Mackey kids were there and coach would play the game, "Hey kids, guess a number between 1 and 10, and we'd all be mouthing 1 to them, knowing that the fate of our sprints was in their hands. I can tell you that we used to make up dances at team sleepovers, slide down the stairs in sleeping bags, hoping not to wake up Taryn's mom. I can tell you that Bree Baker was my partner for every drill from 7th grade until 12th grade. I can tell you that our coaches' families felt like our family as well. I can tell you where I ate my very first famous Miss Lynch brownie. I've had the greatest team memories and feelings in my heart when I think of my time playing in an Oneonta jersey. I can't explain the gratitude I feel for Oneonta and the people here. I don't think I'll ever feel worthy of this honor. I was extremely lucky to be surrounded by great teammates, great coaches, and a great family. It was them who made me who I am today, and they are truly the reason I'm standing up here giving this speech. Thank you.
Sixth Ward Athletic Club. The Sixth Ward provides numerous programs that support both recreational and competitive sports in our area. They established and maintain a number of annual local high school scholarships. These folks do a lot of behind-the-scenes work to support many other causes for people that are in need. This is a well-deserved recognition as they become the first organization to be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Please welcome Rich Myers.
Before I get started, I want you people to see this 5. For the last month, every time I went to the Oneonta Country Club, this is what Tim did me. 5. I said, Timmy, what's that mean? He says, you got 5 minutes to give a speech up here today. I said, Timmy, you know, it's hard to give over 60 years of work for the Sixth Ward Athletic Club in 5 minutes, but I'll do the best I can for you, Timmy. Anyways, it's my honor to accept this award for the Sixth Ward Athletic Club. Although for the last few years, I haven't been much of an active member. I'm a member, but I haven't done anything for the last few years. And when Mary Drago approached me and asked me to talk about the Sixth Ward, I said, there's other people that can talk about it better than me. I haven't done anything in years. And Deanna Oberfeld, Bobby Thomas, they've been very active. Well, she says, why don't you tell how it got started? Well, folks, I'm one of the original 15 members of the Sixth Ward Athletic Club. And where we are today and where we were then, there's a lot of territory, believe me. The Sixth Ward Athletic Club started over 60 years ago with 15 softball players, believe it or not. Never knowing down the road that they're going to run a restaurant and bar. The 15 players, I'll give you a few of their names, maybe you remember them. Cootie Russo and his 3 brothers, Sonny, Bobby, and Joey. Frank and Albert Colon, John Higgins, John Menarson, Bruno Scavo, Freddie DeLello, Chuck Glad, John Colazzo, and myself. I might have left out a couple. That's basically the group that started the organization going. The city of Oneonta didn't want to allow fast pitch softball in the recreational city league. And the 15 of us wanted to play fast pitch softball. So we started this group in the early 60s, raising money to build a field to play fast pitch softball under the lights. And we did that in a number of years. We had to raise a lot of money because it took a lot of money to build a nighttime softball field under the lights. So we spent all of 1960s raising money, doing lots of things. We held summer dances for kids at the Sixth Ward tennis courts. We had 50-50 clubs. We had dances at the Army for older adults and things like that. We had the King of the Court come in and play a softball game. And believe it or not, we helped the varsity O here in the 1960s also. We ran the concession stand and split the money with them 50-50 in anything that we made. In 1966, we formed the club really officially. We had bylaws that were accepted by the state, and our mission at that time was, like they said, support sports, recreational and educational causes for the greater Oneonta area. In 1970, we had raised enough money to build a softball field in Oneonta, under the lights. It was adjacent to the Oneonta Little League. If you went to a Little League game in 1970, that started at 6 o'clock. When the game was over, you could walk 100 feet across the parking lot and watch a softball game under the lights. The league that we started, there were approximately six teams during that time. The first game that was ever played with the Sixth Ward. That was the name of our team. and Borelli's from Cobusville. It was also in 1970 that two schools in the 6th Ward were put up for sale. The Mitchell Street Elementary School and the River Street Elementary School. Well, the Mitchell Street School is where Nader Towers is today. Apparently whoever bought that knew what was going in there. But we bought the River Street School, and I'll tell you for what we bought. We bought River Street between Fonda and Miller for approximately $2,500. We held our meetings there for the next 6 years and fixed up the classrooms and fixed up the furnace so that we could be there in the wintertime, running the league and everything out of it. In 1976, a developer in the area wanted to buy our school, okay? So we sold this school to the developer. That's where the present housing project is between Fonda and Miller Street. So we had a lot of money in our coffers. Well, we kept meeting, but we met at Joe's and Mary's restaurant back in those days. And sometime in the late 1970s, Joe DeFury passed away. And Joe and his wife were the ones that ran Joe's and Mary's. And the DeFuries didn't want the restaurant. So the 6th Ward Athletic Club bought the restaurant. And the rest is kind of history. Okay, as I said, I haven't been a real active part of the club since the early 80s. I had other things going on in my life, children and everything. And but that's the way we got started. A far cry from what it is today. The mission, as I said, was to support sports, recreational, educational causes throughout the greater Oneonta area. And these are some of the things that today the 6th Ward Athletic Club donate. They donate thousands of dollars to a lot of different things. Boys and Girls Club, Pee Wee football, the Oneonta Little League, hospice, and most of all, right here at our school. Around 8 to 16 scholarships every year to this organization here. And that's about all I had to say. Did I make 5 minutes?
Everybody to remain seated while Joe Hughes begins to escort our honorees off the stage and down behind their plaques for the official unveiling. And while this takes place, so you'll exit to your stage left, please. I'd like to make sure and thank, Andy's already done it, the custodial staff has just been tremendous all week helping us out. Please remember to join us in the cafeteria for lunch. We'll serve lunch, and then there's a 1 o'clock football game that we'd encourage you to go to and cheer on the Yellow Jackets. So we'll give our honorees a couple seconds to get down there for the official unveiling, and make sure to come up, take pictures with them. Take a look at these acrylic plaques that they're given to take home with them. They're pretty special. Andy, thank you. I think you heard it a number of times. Association, you're doing a great job. And it's one of the first football games we haven't brought in Shenango Forks or Norwich, or so. Get out there and cheer them on. Maybe we can swing a win for an alumni weekend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, honorees, please unveil your plaques. Welcome our class of inductees 2024. a reminder, please do come down and take pictures of the honorees with their plaques, because they're not taking those home.